Come along with us on this interactive tour of the Black Heritage Trail in the Beacon Hill neighborhood of Boston. This National Historic Site contains the largest collection in the United States of pre-Civil War African American owned buildings. At just over a mile and a half, the walking tour winds its way through this community, linking 14 of these historic structures and telling the story of these courageous men and women who fought slavery and helped shape American Black history. The very first Africans in Boston arrived as slaves in February of 1638, and just after the turn of the century, there were over 400 slaves in Boston. But there had also formed a free Black community in the North End. The American Revolution saw great participation by African Americans, and by the end of the war there were more free than slaves. In 1783, Massachusetts denounced slavery and became the first state to declare it illegal. At the time of the first census in 1790, Massachusetts was also the first state to report no slaves. Because of this, Boston became a popular destination for both free Blacks and escaped slaves from the Underground Railroad, and the communities grew in both the North End and along Beacon Hill. The members of these free communities established themselves here in Boston, provided decent housing for their families, educated their children, and stood bravely in the face of discrimination. During the 19th century, more than half of the African Americans in Boston lived in the Beacon Hill area of the city. This tour along the Black Heritage Trail looks into the past at the lives of some of these free African Americans by exploring notable sites including their homes, churches, businesses, and schools. The trail begins at the Robert Gould Shaw Memorial on Beacon Street and winds its way through Boston's Beacon Hill neighborhood, ending at the Museum of African American History. Please note that many of the sites along the Black Heritage Trail are now privately owned residences. The only sites along the tour that are open inside to the public are the African American Meeting House and the Al-Baal Smith School. You should allow approximately 1.5 to 2 hours to complete the tour, and remember to wear comfortable clothing and shoes for your walk. The Beacon Hill area is, after all, built on a hill and has quite an incline in certain places. You may also want to bring a bottle of water with you in case you get thirsty along the way. Restrooms are located inside the last stop, the Museum of African American History.